One thing people hate is if you just give a pat answer. And I'm not someone who believes in that. I don't think that the response is, oh, don't worry, everything will be better, everything will be fine. That's Pollyannish. That's almost foolish. What you have to do initially, the first step is to acknowledge. We can't live in denial, and to acknowledge that we are living in extremely serious times, financially and otherwise, is to recognize reality. We have an obligation to open our eyes and recognize reality. But once we do that, we can look at history. We can, if we are spiritually attuned, begin to think of the scope of our lives in terms of God. And we can ask, is there anything that can be done to right things, even when you're in free fall? You know, when things go too good, we forget they can go bad. When things go too bad, we can forget that they can be turned around. We are not the first generation to suffer. And there are those, many, who suffered far worse. And you talk to people today. I was just reading the paper yesterday, and this woman who lost, indeed, she did lose a fortune. She's crying that now, for the first time in her life, she has to go on the subway. Oh my God. I'm still going on the subway, and there are countless people who go on the subway. And it might be a good thing for you to go on the subway once to see how some of the world lives. That's not the ultimate tragedy. We have to begin to recognize not just what we lost, but what we have. And I say to you, even from an extremely realistic perspective of the tragedies that people have suffered, people are still eating, people are still with a roof over their head, except for the ones perhaps that maybe had foreclosures and are in desperate straits. I can truly acknowledge their difficulties and cry with them and for them. But most people who are crying, don't tell me when you lost $1 billion or $500 million or 50 million that your life is over. Remember Jack Benny, your money or your life? When the robber said to him, your money or your life, the big laugh was that his response was, I'm thinking. And we look at that and we say, how stupid. What do you mean you're thinking? I said, your money or your life. It's obvious what the correct answer is. And there are people who still don't understand the correct answer. What I'm saying is a time of difficulty requires that we reorient ourselves, and maybe, just maybe, that's one of its purposes. I will also add that being a firm believer in God and in Torah and in Judaism, that's what religion is meant for. Religion is in order to say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. You know, if I were in real serious trouble, when I was a kid, I used to dream, well, maybe if Superman was here and was holding my hand, I wouldn't be afraid. I'm beyond Superman, but I'll tell you, I still love God. And if I can feel with certainty that God knows my pain and is there, then I've held on to something that prevents free fall.